Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of a snow cone.
Form of iguana.
Yes! She did it! Roxy Stryer did it! She's a Wonder Twin! And you know, the best part about the Wonder Twins was on the Super Friends, they had a little pet monkey named Gleet, and that was the last cameo in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
So much talk about that little monkey.
Gleet!
Yeah.
Little purple monkey!
We'll see if we see.
Wow.
We'll see if we see.
Oh, look, people in the chat room know that we had a false start, but people in the future who are watching this recorded will not know that we had a false start.
Well, anybody within 24 hours will probably know.
Because Ryan in the booth says to me, he's like, before the show, he's like, you know, we're going to cut that cold open to streamline everything. And so what happens? What happens, Ryan, in the booth?
The flash was too early. I came too soon.
You came too soon.
Too soon. Am I too soon? I was too soon.
Oh, God. Oh, we're
I have so many jokes. So many jokes.
I know, but sometimes you have to put aside childish things and speak as an adult person.
I'm not great at that.
Welcome to DC Movie News, friends. I'm Adam Gertler, and I am joined by the crown jewel of DC Movie News, and also my manager, I guess, in a way.
Not in a way, in all the ways.
All the ways.
Yo, that Schmodown draft pick for real. That was great. I'm so excited. We've got big things to do this year.
I feel so excited that I was like your last pick too, because I'm like coming out of retirement, crusty old veteran. Like he had to retire because of a back injury or something like that.
Big news, big news.
What's that?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, it's just in general.
It was big news.
I was excited.
What's that?
What's that? What? No. That's so cool. I don't even know what it entails or what it means, but like I said, hopefully if I can just keep the team fed, you know, keep their brains
Then you're doing your part.
Then I'm doing my part.
We need all the sausage.
We need all the sausage. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about DC movie news and friends. There is a lot. Oh, first, did you want to ask me what I was doing last night?
I desperately wanted to ask you that because you just have those eyes of somebody who did something important last night. What were you doing last night, Adam Gertler?
Okay, so last night, a good chef friend of mine named Bruce Kalman, who was on Top Chef 2 seasons ago, he has been barbecuing a lot with Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Who I can't explain to you how much I love. Like, he's in my soul, my bones.
And so for some reason, Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters got obsessively into barbecue, which is like my favorite kind of food in the world and something that I also do a lot, which is like low and slow smoking of meats and things. So we're at this benefit concert last night, or I got invited for, it was called Dime Bash in Orange County, benefiting a member of the metal band Pantera, Dimebag Darrell, who was killed, I believe, in an accident some years ago. So it was a charity benefit. So Dave Grohl and my friend are barbecuing for the thing. So the barbecue doesn't start till after the show. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and I see my buddy. He gives me a pile of meat this high. I ate all of it, still full.
Was it
12 hours
delicious?
later. It was incredibly delicious, and I'm very picky when it comes to barbecue. And then my buddy Bruce is like, hey, Dave, again, Dave Grohl, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. This is my friend Adam, and I kind of like stumble. I'm like, oh yeah, I think you had some of my sausages once, and he's like trying to give me a what's up or a pound, but he's got his gloves covered with meat grease, and then this happens.
Oh, thank you. Bless me with the grease, brother. I am anointed.
I've just never been as jealous.
Holy cow.
I mean, I've never been as jealous as I am in this moment. And I understand that this is not DC related, and I don't care. I don't care. This is like, I can't believe I'm sitting next to you now. Can I touch your face? Let me touch your face.
There's still meat grease on it.
Dave Grohl touched that face, and then I touched that face.
I mean, he was wearing gloves, but
No, he touched through it. It was so good. Oh, so cool.
So that was pretty cool. So yeah. Anyway, that was not DC related, but I had to share with somebody.
I mean, obviously you had to share it with everybody. The chat is loving that right now. It's so cool. It's so cool. By the way, guys, speaking of the chat and everybody who is jealous of Adam Gertler, we are live every single Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Today we are up at 2. Thank you guys for waiting on my behalf. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we are live on Popcorn Talks YouTube. So if you want to join the live conversation, that's where you go. We're also on all of the places podcasts are. So iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, etc. If you guys want to listen to us and not see Adam's Dave Grohl greased up face, then I guess you could listen on there. But if you want to see us, come over to YouTube, wherever you are, 5 stars, thumbs up. I notice that when I remind you guys to do the thumbs up, we get like so many more thumbs up. So maybe just some of you guys aren't thinking about it. So if you like what Dave Grohl did to Adam, now's the time to show that you liked it. Show those thumbs.
And if you
in
like
support
what,
of Dave Grohl.
if you like what Roxy does all the time, stick a thumb up it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Thumb it up it.
Everybody deserves to be thumbed every once in a while.
And if you think Ryan was crazy for cutting the cold open and then botching the opening of the show, stick a thumb up it.
Stick a thumb up it.
Yeah.
Stick a thumb up it. Yep. And also subscribe. And like I said, comment after the fact too, even if you're not watching live. We love hearing what you guys have to say. I always check those out, the iTunes reviews and here on YouTube. So we really appreciate you guys. You rock. We wouldn't have a show without you. Straight
What
up.
goes from being absolutely shredded by critics to getting 11 Oscar nominations?
Shredded by critics.
Yeah.
You
Don't think too hard. Don't think too
The
hard.
Joker.
No, I was thinking more broad, just DC movies in general.
Oh, huh?
Well, I mean, you have Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Justice League, all of which were shredded by critics.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And now, more Oscar nominations than a comic book movie, more Oscar nominations than any movie this year. Joker has 11 nominations.
Yeah.
And even that is
But
now
you want to
getting.
know what's crazy,
Tell
Adam?
me
This
what's
is why
crazy.
this is why I had to think too hard about it, because the amount of people, it was so weird. The internet is so strange, and I'm a part of it, so I guess I'm strange. But the amount of people that it felt like were pushing for Joker to get Oscar nominations. People loved Joker. Joker did incredibly well, both critically and audience-wise. The tomato meter and the audience score are very strong with this one. People seemingly the vast majority they talk with their money. People loved the Joker, or just Joker. People loved Joker. They loved this movie. They talked about how they wanted it to get nominated.
Why
They
do I
talked
feel
about-
like there's a butt coming?
It's coming because the internet seems to be now peeved that Joker has 11 noms. They're like, we wanted it to get nominated, but not that much. And also, where's Endgame's noms? Why is Joker getting 11 noms, huh? And it's like, oh my God. Of all the mistakes that the Oscars make, that's the one you want to point out? That Joker's nominated too many times? Like, just what? When are people going to be happy? It's so strange. I was stoked for Joker. I'm so ecstatic that they are nominated 11 times.
Ryan, real quick, if you can access that list, if you can just go down that list of all the categories that it's
I
nominated
can
in.
give it to you.
You
right
got it
now.
right here?
I
Okay,
can,
Roxy.
I can tell you exactly what they were.
We actually
And-
have it in the thumbnail as well.
yeah, and I can also tell you that there are 11 of them. Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Editing, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Score, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, Best Adapted Screenplay. Read 'em and weep, baby.
Wow. I mean, I knew definitely score and actor. I thought Todd Phillips was going to get snubbed. I did not see this coming. And then I thought,
I thought cinematography too.
I thought it was going to get 4 or 5. I really did. But this is absolutely crazy. Now, but that doesn't mean it's going to win any of them. Do you think it will win any
Yeah,
of
I
them?
definitely think that Joaquin's going to win.
We always talk about this in award season, that sense of momentum.
Yes.
And it kind of feels like he's got the momentum
He's
right
on,
now.
he's hot right now. He's got some heat.
And I really love Leonardo DiCaprio. I love that movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But like it's just not the same level. Or Adam Driver.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's excellent. It's excellent. But I think he was equally as good in The Report as he was in Marriage Story. So.
I know, as you said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think he's going to get it. Do you think Brad Pitt is going to win supporting for...
Possibly. Possibly.
People seem to love him in that role.
He was
too.
excellent there. I just don't know. I'm frustrated, Adam. I'm frustrated.
Why are you frustrated?
I'm frustrated because what did people want?
I mean,
Do you think this is too many noms?
I think a lot of it has to do with people thinking Joker took nominations away from women or people of color. I mean, that's because there's always that controversy, and like I'm hearing a lot of like the women were snubbed, and that might be true, but it's almost like Joker's getting the blame for that. That people just went for. And I don't know why that is. Why,
Well,
and am I wrong in thinking that? But
I don't know.
Like,
I think I don't know because that is true that the Oscars did make some mistakes. And some people who I feel like so clearly deserved nominations did not get nominations, and many of those people are people of color or women. But okay, let's go through it. For Best Picture, they are allowed to nominate 10, and they only nominated 9, which shows clearly that Joker bumped nothing because there was an open slot that they did not use.
And the way they get to that is like there's a very complicated percentage thing, right? It's not just number of votes; it's like number of people that voted it as their top choice first, right?
But it means there was still space for another thing, and which they did not use. So, Best Actor, obviously, that did not bump a woman,
right?
Because it cannot. Best Director, I do think that Greta Gerwig should be nominated in this category. I do, but I think that Todd Phillips also deserved this nomination. And then for some of the other ones, I hear people, but I don't know. Everybody wanted this movie to get noms. Everybody was talking about, gotta nominate Joker. And then there's been so much backlash and heat on it this week.
Yeah, I'm looking in the chat roll. People are thinking definitely going to get that win for
Joaquin.
Some people thinking, I saw somebody say 1917 will probably get cinematography and picture.
As it should. Roger Deakins.
Fergal, Kelly. Yeah, and Roger Deakins doesn't like have as many wins as he should. Didn't he like finally get his first one? Right.
Yeah, but he's excellent, and 1917 is incredible. And deserves to win Best Picture and Cinematography.
So, but the broader scope, as it applies to our show, Ryan, feel free to chime in on this. What do you think? I mean, does this just cement the path that DC is on moving forward? That like Warner Brothers has been through so much between the Zack Snyder stuff, between Kevin Sujihara stuff, between all the reshuffling. And all that, trying to get what are we doing with DC movies in general sort of back on track. We've had our show during this whole transition, and now you have this prestige film, the small film, the film that didn't need to make money, has 11 nominations and $1 billion at the box office. The experiment was a success. So what does that mean for DC moving forward?
You can't ignore it. You can't look at that and say, but we'll never try something like that again.
Right.
Like
exactly.
that would just be silly business. So I think that it solidifies the plan that they already had in motion to make these singular entities that are really powerful and to make movies that speak to that one specific film and not to what they're trying to do overall. So I think we'll see more of that. I think it gives creators freedom to do a little more. I think that probably the caliber of filmmaker rises because people want to go over there. They see what they allowed Todd Phillips to do. And if you're a filmmaker, you want to be with a company that allows somebody to do what Todd Phillips did.
Yeah, I just hope as a fan that they take the right lessons from this. And this is always what you hope, right?
And it's not every movie that now turns into the Joker. Everybody gets an R rating. Every villain gets a movie. I get it.
It's more the idea, like they did with Watchmen. And of course, we're going to talk about that news about Watchmen season 2 as well. But it's more just this idea, like when there is an idea there. You know, we saw how colossally this really upset people with Star Wars, where it was like, we got Lucasfilm, we got to start putting these films out on a schedule. We saw Scott Derrickson depart Doctor Strange 2. Like,
even today with the announcement, people talking about Taika Waititi doing a Star Wars movie, but that's such a rumor right now, and people will be crushed if he's not actually doing one. Like, there's so many rumors coming from the internet of changes that happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, just because, and again, you know, Taika doing a Star Wars is almost an example of, like, learning the wrong lessons. It's like, just because this one thing works here doesn't mean that it will work everywhere. I think the idea here is that when there's a strong point of view, that's when a film can surprise, and it doesn't have to be just made as product, right?
Yeah. Totally. In general, I do want to say, though, frustration aside and taking the wrong lessons aside, congratulations to Warner Brothers and DC. This is a huge, huge moment. And in Oscar history, this is a really big moment. And yes, do I think that Across the Pond Endgame deserved more nominations than it got? Absolutely. But I do hope that this sets a precedent at the Oscars to really nominate the best pictures, the best performances. And if that happens to be something that is a comic book adaptation, then so be it, because it is so often overlooked. So I think that this is a win for not just Warner Brothers, not just DC, not just comic books companies, but for the fans as well, that we're being seen and these movies are being taken seriously.
Right.
So a big congratulations to them, and honestly, congratulations to us.
Yeah, and even with regard to Star Wars, which I've been a huge Star Wars fan, but I'm not super impressed by the new trilogy. But then you see something like The Mandalorian, which was great. Did you see that picture of George Lucas holding Baby Yoda?
Yeah.
That was so cool, right? So it's like the lessons that I need to learn are like, guess what? You have to make the product better. And I think that overall, that's a good thing. Right? Like, We'll get better stuff. So a little interesting tidbit about Joker as well that we just found out before we started the show. I had forgotten, I think I heard it on a podcast like a week ago, which reminded me, Bradley Cooper, who obviously worked with Todd Phillips on 3 Hangover films, was a producer of Joker. And then we were just hearing that he was actually very involved in the editing process, too.
I don't know what rock I've been living under. Like,
oh my God. Not The Rock, that's for sure.
That would be, wow, what a big success for this show that would be if I'd been living under The Rock. But yeah, it's cool. I think that Bradley Cooper is a absolute star both in front of and behind the camera. So I'm not shocked to hear that he was instrumental in this, because he makes really smart choices. Really smart choices.
What's interesting about that article, I think, that we were reading about is that, Todd Phillips, they worked on the Hangover movies, so they have the relationship. But the fact that they had him coming in to look at edits, like Bradley was very hands-on, and also they mentioned Joaquin was very hands-on. And a lot of actors don't like to watch themselves. They all seem to be so passionate about this. It just goes to show, like, they all had such a great vision.
Let me give you guys a couple of quotes coming from Bradley Cooper, who, like you just said, producer on this. He said, "We kept this one pretty close to us. We screened it more personally for people and filmmakers." Bradley Cooper, definitely, so it must be not coming from Bradley Cooper, probably coming from Todd Phillips then. Bradley Cooper definitely came in a couple of times. He was a producer on the movie, but he definitely watched the movie many times and sat with us. We could call him if we got stuck with something and be like, hey, can you come over and take a look at things? He doesn't miss a thing. He would watch stuff and he would pick out even some of the smaller things and what are some of the things that he can be picked out for us to address. He was definitely a huge help. I think he got a lot more experience in editing than most people would realize, which is kind of cool that he was really in the editing scene.
Yeah, but not surprising considering like how multifaceted his talents seem to be.
Jeff Groth, I'm so sorry. That's who those quotes are coming from. Jeff Groth.
Let's talk about something that, speaking of universes colliding, it's almost like the TV Time universe and the Movie Talk universe are combining, because we have to talk about TV in the Movie Time.
Honestly, this feels like, talk about victories for people. TV Time moving up to the third segment of our day, our third news story. I did this. I manifested this. I manifested this moment.
So we're all on one Earth now? TV Time exists in the same place as
currently
Movie
Earth
Time.
Prime.
TV
We're on Earth Prime right now, and that is why TV Time has made its way here. You're so confused?
No, so we get a text the other day, what is this, Monday, from Mike Kalinowski, also, of this show. Oh my God, Crisis! Roxy and I, we haven't watched it yet.
No, it must have been Tuesday, right? The 14th?
No, it was Monday when it was happening.
Oh, was the 14th on Monday?
Yeah, It was all Monday. And so I head home, I watch it, I'm like watching it, enjoying it, it's pretty good. And then there's that moment, though. Then that happens.
It was Tuesday.
What? It was not Tuesday.
Right?
I'm fact checking.
Pretty
oh my
sure
God,
it's
you guys
Tuesday.
are all insane.
No, I'm telling you because I remember where I was when I got that text message. It was a Tuesday.
Fact checking.
Tuesday show, Tuesday text.
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday
at 6 p.m.
Yeah, for
PST.
sure.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry. When I saw it, it was before the Earths were merged. I saw it in a different multiverse, different part of the multiverse.
So
Sorry.
Yeah, he did text us, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not home. I cannot watch this right now. Like, if Mike is sending something in there like that, it must be huge." Also, I had heard from a friend of the show, and I cannot say who, but a friend of the show told me that that friend had read the scripts, and that something that I would never believe was going to happen was going to happen.
Okay, but that's confusing because I understand, and are we allowed to talk about what it is? We've already put the pictures up, right?
Pictures are up.
Okay, so if anybody was wondering, we were always debating, is Ezra Miller still the Flash? Oh, he's still the Flash. He very much still a Flash. So I had heard that, or at least Mark Guggenheim was saying that they were already kind of like soft locked on the episode, and Warner Brothers actually called and said, "Hey, can you get Ezra in?" So I don't think this was in the original script.
When he was saying you'll never believe what's going to happen, he was talking about the end of episode 5.
Oh, which was the Brandon Routh Superman?
Just the entire
just
table,
all the-
like, you're never going to believe it. So I was thinking, wow, that's going to be huge. But this was like, talk about stuff that you will never believe. I mean, I'm so upset this was spoiled for me. I'm so, not by that person, but by Twitter, because I saw Ezra Miller's name trending, and what else could it be about? But honestly, the ballsiness of them to do this in episode 4, like 20 minutes in, not even the end, so epic. And did you hear how it happened? Who called who?
Oh, yeah, who called who?
Movies called TV.
Right. Movies, so they called
Movies
Guggenheim. Yeah.
called TV.
Can you squeeze Ezra in?
Are you for real? So dope. And can I tell you something, Adam Gertler?
Yes,
can I
please.
please tell you something? And I know this is partially TV time, partially movie time, but whatever. Just recalling, for the last several years we've been hosting the show together, am I or am I not a fan of Ezra Miller's Barry Allen?
You always have been a fan of Ezra Miller.
No!
Oh, no, you're not.
I'm not.
No,
I'm a
you
fan of
hated
Grant Gustin's. Ezra Miller.
And I'm always telling you that there's no way that Grant Gustin could be the Flash in a movie.
Right. Which I see and I hear. But I have been a fan of Grant. I've been a fan of Ezra Miller always. I think he handles himself with such grace and poise and is a super nerd and fan, and I love that. But his Barry Allen, to me, has not been good. But you want to know what this is?
What's that?
This is something that made me think I could see a Flash movie with Ezra Miller and love it. So brilliant marketing move on their part that this is the first time I've ever seen Ezra Miller as Barry Allen on screen and thought, yes, I want more of that. This is the first
It was a good
moment.
scene. It was actually a good scene.
It was a cute scene. It was campy. It was fun. It was just energy. It felt like it had a lot of heart and light. And I am. Just the whole thing. Your suit, my suit. It was a little safer.
Yeah.
Whatever. Having him interact with Grant Gustin is the smartest thing they could do, because not only now do I know, do I in my mind think, okay, Grant Gustin is giving Ezra Miller his blessing, but I also saw a different side to Ezra Miller's Barry Allen that I was like, I want this movie. So, I mean, in literally, a minute, they changed all of my thoughts on Ezra Miller as Barry Allen.
That is really, really cool to hear. Also, keep in mind, again, BVS, not very well liked. Justice League, not really well liked. And yet everybody somehow really liked this cameo.
Everyone.
So imagine if those films were really well liked and they did this.
I know. But that's crazy smart that they did this. Really good.
So, okay, one of the coolest things what about the fact that he says Flash, and because they never said Flash in any of those movies, Ezra gets the idea to be called the Flash from the TV Flash.
Unbelievable.
That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
He was like, Flash. Yeah.
And, it was so out of nowhere, and you just kind of buy it, and they looked great. Like, neither of them looked out of place. Somehow, both costumes were working at the same time. Oh, look at the great picture of them together. Like, that's just... And
so good.
So, here's my hot take on the whole thing, is like... This is by far my favorite part of Crisis, and it wasn't even in Crisis until afterwards. So,
Yeah.
Did I like Crisis? I don't know. I mean, I really liked this moment of it.
Because of this and because of how we end with seeing all the Earths, but then also
That was so cool.
Also the table,
The Green
and
Lantern
Green
tease.
everything. It's for me, Adam. I loved Crisis, but I know that I'm too close to it because it was like there's really about 6 moments in all of Crisis that I think like are so epic, but to me this is the best crossover that ever took place because of those moments. Like they gave me so many things that I've wanted for so long that I can't even unbiasedly speak on this.
Last week you were just saying like, we don't know what Ezra's been doing this time. What is that Flash doing? It's like, oh, here's what he's been doing. Like his whole world has been reordered.
Love it.
What do you think this implies
For the movie?
if anything, for the movie?
Well, I think we've talked about how this Flashpoint is. Remember last week, Muschietti said that Flashpoint is going to be a different thing than you're expecting, a kind of Flash, whatever. I think that we're seeing that he's going to be a little bit different iteration of Flash. We're going to get some time travel stuff. We're going to see what he's been up to. I think that if they're smart, they'll reference this somehow in the movie, like some kind of reference.
Or the Speed Force somehow, yeah.
Right? Something. And yeah, I think that this doesn't mean that much except for goodwill. Like I am now going into this movie thinking, yes.
It certainly seems like DC feels like on just a winning streak on all fronts right now.
For real.
Like really firing on all cylinders in a way where like, listen, still a Marvel fan, but Marvel concluded their big thing, and they've lost a lot of their creative people. The best Marvel movies have been Russo brothers movies. We don't have them moving forward. You don't have Scott Derrickson.
You know what else just concluded their
What's
big
that?
thing?
Star Wars, yeah.
So Disney's on a conclusion, and we're on a rebirth, for lack of better words.
Big swings are happening right now. So do you? So you could do a Flash where you don't reference Wonder Woman, Batman at all, or you do with different ones. I mean, the biggest problem we've talked about with like the sort of DCEU has been like, all right, well, if those guys all still exist in the same world, how is it Batman's not there and Superman's not there? Is there a way that this kind of thing makes that palatable? Like now that DCEU as we know it maybe was affected by this crisis, and that world is merged in a different way.
Well, some of the Earths we did not get, and I do think it is possible, not plausible, but possible that they will in Flashpoint reference the fact that the Earths are changed, and we might have reference to new Batman. This might be how we wield in our new Batman.
Yeah, I mean, the Flash could then go into other different multiverses too, like in the movie.
That's what I mean.
What?
I said plausible, but I think it meant probable.
Okay.
I confuse my P's sometimes.
You can fact check that sometime.
Okay.
I don't know. In general, does it make you think that the Flash movie is definitely happening?
I do believe the Flash movie is definitely happening. For the first time in a long time, Adam, I believe that Ezra Miller will star in a Flash movie directed by Andy Muschietti. I believe that is true.
Oh, okay. Guard, did you hear this? That Jay Washington got to see the Ezra Miller scene months ago at a small party at Berlanti's place?
It's not completely accurate.
Not completely accurate? Is that apocryphal?
But he may or may not have been somebody I was speaking about earlier in this episode. And it may or may not have been Guggenheim's place, not Berlanti's.
Oh, my goodness.
But
wow.
maybe I'm pretty sure he said Guggenheim.
You know, Hollywood parties used to be so much more interesting, like in the 60s and 70s and stuff, and now this is the exciting parties that you have. Like, you just like, watch this little scene I got.
It's epic. That's epic.
But we got to talk about what is coming soon. I want to know, Roxy.
What you got?
Well, first of all, on the last topic, if you're in the chat roll, I want to know, all you people that were like, it's not happening, I'll believe it when it happens, has this appearance changed your opinion of just whether or not the Muschietti Flash is happening? I want to know, has anybody converted that, whereas you were thinking, I'll believe it when I see it? Like, to me, this is Warner Brothers saying like, oh yeah, put our Flash out there because he's coming around the pike in a couple more years. In 2022, we're getting that Flash movie.
So, Sky Patterson in the chat right now, I think that Andy Muschietti's The Flash will do flashbacks to the beginning of Barry Allen's Flash and then time jump present day time travel.
Yeah, we got to see how it happens. I mean, we kind of do need to see an origin.
Yeah,
I would like to.
That would be pretty crazy. There's a reminder in here from Ivan Soto that since Ezra Miller's Flash isn't a paragon, he won't remember meeting Grant Gustin's Flash, but he is in the Speed Force. I don't know. I wonder how that exactly will happen. Black Bantha says, I'm convinced now. Black Rock 316 says it's going to happen. Real Talk with CeeLo says Superman 2 Sons. Yeah, I mean, so much other stuff happened on Crisis. It's crazy. Insane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't even talk about, like, the great Brendan Routh looking like his classic Superman costume at the end. That was great. It's a little Swamp Thing shout out.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Timed out with a certain line about, like, failing.
Dick Smoker says, I'm more converted now. Sure, why not? That cameo is pretty much a confirmation for me, says Martin N81. So it does seem like a lot of people are at least in a similar camp to me where this now feels like we're moving forward. Andy C says, oh, now it's happening for sure. We are getting a Flash movie.
And also, this really jives with those comments. He'll save every one of us. Da-da. You know, when he was saying it's a different kind of Flashpoint, this makes me think we are going to be getting some real timey-wimey, all kinds of madness happening, all kinds of interdimensional madness with this movie, and I hope it's bonkers. I hope it's yet again something really different.
Hey, yo, Adam.
What?
Speaking of bonkers.
Okay, what do you think about the fact that we don't know anything about Birds of Prey? We keep saying this, and yes, I like the trailers we saw last week, but here we are. Roxy, is it strange, or are we on schedule? It's January 17th. So we're, about 20 days of the opening of this film?
The movie's opening on February 7th. Math is not my major, so you guys...
At this point, would we have heard about more screenings?
So...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in talks with our girl, our amazing friend over at Warner Brothers.
Oh, yes.
I will just give her a first name so nobody... Liza at Warner Brothers, we are obsessed.
Love you, Liza.
We are obsessed with you. So the premiere for this is taking place in the UK. So
okay.
So that's where the premiere is.
So we're going to the premiere?
I wish that would be amazing.
We're going to England,
I have
baby.
to tell you, if we were willing to go to England, I bet we could get to the premiere, which is cool if we want to fly there ourselves.
No, they can fly us. That doesn't have to be first class, guys. We'll do business.
It's fine. I'll go in cargo. I'm small.
I mean, don't be crazy.
And there are screenings being set, but I'm feeling more and more positive about this. They are starting to, like, just little inner workings of the scene. Sometimes with these movies, we get a lot of blasts beforehand, and like they've been sending us the trailers, they've been sending us the soundtrack, they've been sending it like different things to try and hype up. And I feel like this movie might be really effing cool. It's right now, by the way, talking projections for box office. Its first weekend, it's expected to open between 49 million and 55 million here in the States.
Okay.
What do you think about those projections?
I think those are the most accurate projections I've heard in a long time about a film. I think if nothing happens, that is where the film's going. If the film starts screening in the next couple of weeks and the hype is really positive, if there's anything that really pushes it over, I think you could be talking about 65 million. But I think even if the reviews or early screenings are kind of lukewarm or mixed, I think on the strength of DC, on Margot, on Harley, I think those are super accurate numbers.
I think that you are right. I would say even if it's getting really great reception because of what just happened with Joker and because of the Margot Robbie effect, I think it could even hit 70.
I would agree with that. I would not disagree.
If really we push it. But I think if they hit 50, they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Again, this is a movie with a similar budget to Joker, and while the marketing is there, they're not covering everything with the marketing, or at least they're saving it. Like, we're probably going to really amp up in the next 2 weeks. Like, we're heading into the weekend right now. I guarantee on Monday it is going to be starting the serious push. I know Bad Boys for Life is supposed to open this weekend to huge numbers. Predicting 70 million for that one.
Because it was awesome.
You saw it? Was it really
so
good? Oh my God, that's so great to hear. Well, I love that.
I really did enjoy it. Just to compare this quickly to some other R-rated comic book films, Deadpool opened to 132.4 mil. Deadpool 2 had 125 mil. Logan 97 mil. Joker 96 mil. And Suicide Squad, which obviously featured Harley
Joker was
Quinn.
96 opening weekend?
Yep.
That's so crazy.
And Suicide Squad, which obviously is Harley Quinn's OG film, is 133 mil.
Right.
So that movie is such an anomaly.
That's crazy. Well, that's what I mean. It's just so insane that we were going from like Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. I mean, like, people really trouncing DC like just a few short years ago.
How strange is this to see the sentence on comicbook.com is last year Joker opened to 96 million. It's like last year.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
I mean, technically, totally.
it was. Wow.
Feels like yesterday. Oh, also speaking of Joker, just while we're on this, Joker is back in theaters this weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, with all of the Oscar stuff, more than 750 theaters in North America are gonna reopen Joker January 17th. So that is today officially that Joker's just coming back for the weekend.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
If you want a chance to see it again.
Moving on, I believe Robert Downey Jr. promoting Dr. Dolittle, which is getting some serious
Saw that one as well.
reviews. Getting serious reviews. Did you have a strong opinion about it?
Adam, you know I love things that are awful.
Uh-oh. No.
Oh my God, Adam.
It did not look good.
It's worse than it looked.
It looked very bad.
I don't say this often, but I so much respect for anybody who works on any movie. It's so hard to make a movie, but holy crap, Adam. Holy crap. But that's not the relevant part to DC.
No. So, yeah, Joe Rogan, I guess, Ryan, you actually heard the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, listen
you
to the full episode.
Yeah, so
Robert
fill us
Downey Jr.
in.
just, getting a little sentimental about Iron Man, if he's going to come back or not. And this is in a few interviews this week. People are asking about, like, the comic book space, and he said he's most excited about Robert Pattinson as Batman, and that he could not be more excited.
Yeah, his quote on Joe Rogan's, the Joe Rogan Experience was, "I want to see what Pattinson does. I like that guy." Have they worked together before? Or do you think he just likes him like, I like that guy as an actor?
I think he thinks he means as an actor, because anybody that's watching how he's done his career,
Yeah,
it's like
so cool.
it's just it's a masterclass,
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
Like what he's done, it's been chosen so wisely. The roles that he's done. I mean, he did that Safdie Brothers film, which people really liked a lot, and now the Safdie Brothers seem like
Good
they're
times.
and it seems like with Uncut Gems doing so well, even though it didn't get like a lot of Oscar love or whatever. It seems like those guys now are going to be the guys to get whatever budget they want to do whatever they want to do.
My advice to anybody out there, if you're a brother, then you guys should make movies, because it seems like the brothers are the ones that are, I mean, literal like siblings.
They did work together on one thing. Robert Downey Jr. had a cameo in this movie called Love and Distrust, starring Robert Pattinson back in
Good job.
You never know with the
2010.
cameos though if they ever actually were even in the same room.
And guys, this is why negative reinforcement is a good thing. You see how, like, almost like training a good puppy, I smacked Ryan on the nose at the beginning of this show. Now he comes back with the white-hot intensity of a producer that knows all things. Quick. Thumbs up for Ryan. Peter Sarsgaard, who is in The Batman, has kind of praised the attitude, the vibe on set. He compared it to like Pixies shows he used to go to, like this freewheeling punk rock spirit and this youthful energy.
Yeah, he says Matt directing this Batman is exciting. The cast is so awesome. It seems different from other Batman movies to me, just with the cast, which I think we agree with. The cast alone is very different than other movies have been in the past. There's something about it that has an edge. It's young. To me, just my perception of it, it reminds me of when I was in college and I went to go see the Pixies play, and looking around and feeling the vibe at the Pixies concert. That's what it felt like to me. A song like I Bleed, that it has the energy and that sort of thing, and isn't so specifically targeted to a very young audience or a very old audience, but has that power of chaos in it.
Wow.
Interesting.
I want to know what all that means.
I like the Pixies.
Related to Batman news, Zoe Kravitz has been making some news recently too. I guess recently it was revealed that she does have a short haircut.
So yeah, she chopped off her hair, and people were.
She had really
wondering-
long hair.
She did. She had longer hair. Well, I will say she wears her hair differently frequently.
So you're saying there's extensions going on and things like this?
She a lot of actresses wear their hair differently all the time. But she's worn her hair very differently. But now it is noticeably incredibly
Wow.
short.
It
And-
totally looks like year one Selena Kyle.
Yeah. So and she,
Wow.
She put up on Instagram a picture of her also with just it says hair and then has scissors next to it of the new short hair, which is great. But she did confirm that it is because of Batman, which people were wondering. If
She said it was.
yes, so it is for the Batman.
And then did you see there were some quotes about her inspiration for the actual role itself?
I will find them.
Well, no,
yes,
she was.
She says. She says, I think Catwoman Selena Kyle represents really strong femininity, and I'm excited to dive into that. This was during the TCAs. She says, I think femininity represents power, and I think it's a different kind of power than masculine power. That's something that's really interesting about Batman and Catwoman. I think Batman represents a very kind of masculine power, and Catwoman represents very feminine power, slightly more complicated and softer too. I like the idea that you can be soft, you can be gentle, and still be very powerful, and still be very dangerous.
And in the same article that was on comicbook.com, they also, a lot of times at the end of their articles, they'll I guess for filler and stuff, they'll use past quotes related, but they linked to a Matt Reeves quote when he was just saying how much he liked year one. He said, we're definitely not doing year one.
Yep.
But
Year One is one of my favorite comic books that I love. We are definitely not doing Year One.
But that is her hair from year one. I mean, that is a very year one looking
I just
Selena
think she
Kyle.
well, first of all, her face is so stunning, and when you have a face as stunning as that, sometimes the less hair you have, the better, because you can just focus on how legit gorgeous you are.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah, Halle Berry pulls off a very short haircut incredibly well too.
Again.
Natalie Portman pulls off a really great short haircut. So
Again, I know.
yeah, I know you know.
Because-
I know too.
I can pretty much do anything with my hair, and this face is going to be the face. It's there's so much face.
Totally.
I've been told that I should cut off my hair because it's not fair.
Shave it.
It's not
Shave
fair.
it all.
Too much face.
He's a face guy.
Speaking of the power of femininity, this was another little thing I saw. Again, doesn't mean much, but Gail Simone, who famously kind of rebranded the Batgirl character.
She endorsed Karen Gillan as Batgirl, which was
I endorse Karen Gillan for everything.
yeah, me too. Me too.
Doctor Who. Oh my God, she was so great at Doctor Who.
So she said, as one of Batgirl's longest running writers, I would totally endorse Karen Gillan as Batgirl. She'd kill as Barbara. Put Cass in there too.
I know Karen Gillan's still very young, but I don't know if I see her as quite a Batgirl though. I mean, isn't Batgirl, shouldn't she be kind of 17, 18?
I don't know. After what they did with Poison Ivy on Gotham, I don't know anything about ages anymore. So it depends. I guess it depends. And Karen Gillan does have a tendency to look incredibly, incredibly young sometimes. What was the thing that I saw her in most recently where I felt like she looked really, really young? Not really young like a kid, but young like she could totally be an 18-year-old.
And it's so weird that she's done so well as Nebula, but she's just under complete makeup in Nebula.
I know.
So it's it's
I know. I think most people probably don't even know who that's her under there.
Right. I mean, she gets
yeah,
in-
obviously Jumanji she was excellent in too. She's really fun there. Stuber was what?
Thunder God agrees with me. Thunder God, Kiro 770 is in Karen Gillan too. Oh yeah, I mean she's not old, but Batgirl. There's seems to be something implied there.
Well, Supergirl.
Oh, Supergirl. I mean, do we even go into TV time? Did we ever leave?
No, I'm just saying Batgirl, Supergirl.
I know.
age.
But now I'm really contending with like, where do we go from here within
I
the show? Because we
know.
opened TV time, we didn't close it back up, we never went any. Okay,
It's time for
that's what producers do.
He made a decision, baby.
Adam's cooking so divine. Also Mikey Christmas time. DC movie news. It's
Yeah,
time
Karen
to talk
Gillan is 32.
TV
That's really
time.
young.
32 is not bad, girl. You're
32-year-olds play high schoolers on the CW all the time, Adam.
Oh, speaking of which, what do you think about the fact that the CW verse is a whole? That's Earth Prime, like CW. So Black Lightning. So
I know.
so Superman, Tyler Hoechlin Superman, which by the way,
And
is
Lois.
And Lois. That series has been picked up. So there will be a new Superman series, which.
And they have 2 sons,
So okay. So Two Sons was also a result of the crisis.
I guess, because the same way that with Diggle having his daughter back was a result of the crisis.
Right. So they had one kid because isn't that why Superman like left the planet to go raise his kid?
But they have 2 kids.
But now they have two kids.
2 sons.
So it's gonna be
Yes.
Lois, Superman, and Super Babies.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny because that was one of my least favorite things in Superman Returns was this like strange like love child that Lois had, and now that's way canon. That's,
And the Canary Show, which is getting a backdoor pilot this week. We will be finally seeing what they're doing with that. But
so somehow Arrow is leaving, but there's more DC shows. How does CW have endless room for more DC properties?
and welcome Stargirl as well, which got a little bit of a footage this week. So.
Oh, that was cool actually.
And that's kind of a CW, kind of not, as it's going to be in multiple different places. But this was the CW version of the trailer that we got. So go check that out. CW is popping.
Also, The Seed. There's a Deathstroke show on Seed that you can watch right now.
Yeah, Seed does a pretty good job. I remember I really liked what they did with Vixen and CW Seed. Man, they got a lot going on.
Has anybody in the chat rolls, anybody watched the Deathstroke show on Seed yet?
I have not, but I'm curious what you guys have to say.
Speaking of animated things, what about the fact that James Wan is executive producing an Aquaman show? Where did that come from?
And also, it's apparently picking up where the movie leaves off, which
So does that mean Momoa is gonna voice it?
I don't know. I
feel like he would.
Like you mean you mean like you just in theory you think he might if things worked out?
I guess they sort of have to pay him a lot of money
Yeah.
to do that.
Like he
I
would
mean, I just like any guy who wears like a tank top to the Golden Globes, I feel like is
good.
kind of down to do. Yeah, man, whatever.
Totally.
Pay me, I'll
Can I
knock it out in an
record it
afternoon.
on my phone, I'll send you the voice notes.
I see. I really like this idea, though. I like the idea of a continuation of the Aquaman story, like kind of filling in the gap, almost like what Star Wars does with their novels and stuff.
I wasn't as into this story.
Tell me why.
I typically don't love animated series unless they are that more adult, raunchy, like the Harley Quinn show, which I'm just completely obsessed with on DC Universe.
Young Justice isn't your bag so much?
No, it's
okay.
not. And everybody loves Young Justice, so I know it's the best version of what it can do, but I don't know. It's just not for me. I understand why somebody would want it, but this one's not for me.
Can I ask a quick question about that?
Yeah.
I found this really interesting because James Wan producing, and it's a mini series for this Aquaman show.
I think that's the thing, Ryan, that made me excited for it. Because it's not a thing that needs to go on.
Miniseries doesn't even mean anything anymore, though, guys. Like, I don't even know how to differentiate what's a miniseries, considering, like, American Horror Story is a miniseries.
It's an anthology.
But it's also always nominated in a miniseries.
Well, that's an awards
Technically
category thing.
But it plugs itself. It says that we're a miniseries. You know? So all of these shows,
I guess what
Big Little Lies, miniseries.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't even know what does miniseries mean. It literally means an abridged series. So you could actually have 8 episodes of a show that lasts 10 seasons, and it's still considered a miniseries. So I hear what you guys are saying, and if they actually like stick to the term and how it was originally intended, that might mean something. But for me, when something's announced as a miniseries now, I literally take that with such a grain of salt because it doesn't mean anything.
Well, let's tie this into another subject that we have to talk about. Does Watchmen then get nominated as a miniseries?
Maybe.
Because right now, Watchmen, we've heard Damon Lindelof say kind of coyly, like, I had this idea. I don't have another idea. I'm not jumping into another idea unless I have it. And we were really hearing at the beginning of this week that season 2 is just not happening. They're not going to push Lindelof into it. Makes sense because HBO is clearly in the Lindelof business, and they're going to follow what the creator wants to do. Again, kind of like what we were talking about Joker with. Does this surprise you, hearing this more final like that, Roxy?
It doesn't really mean anything again. Because, like, I think that if Lindelof ends up having an idea, if something strikes him and he has some kind of idea for another Watchmen season, then he'll do it. Or if another creator does, then maybe they'll get Lindelof's blessing, you know? This could be a True Detective situation. Also another miniseries.
That's such a good point. I feel like it's a little different from the Aquaman miniseries depiction. Like, they're going into Aquaman with that, hey, it's a miniseries in mind.
Do you know where it's airing? Somebody was asking in the chat room.
The Aquaman one?
Yeah.
HBO Max.
Okay.
It's a whole nother bag of worms.
That brings us into our another subject we have to talk to. It's all intertwined on TV time, and that's what we're hearing is that the HBO Max DC Universe thing, it's not necessarily as figured out as we thought it was.
We're confused because they're confused.
Yeah, guys, if you're confused, it's because they're confused.
Yeah. Because I keep saying, I'm confused. Can somebody tell me what's up? And the reason they're not telling us what's up is because they don't know what's up.
I heard most recently that now Doom Patrol and Titans might premiere on DC Universe and then go to HBO Max.
So HBO Max's content chief, Kevin Riley, said, we're working out what those mechanics are. We have to figure out those 2 subscriptions, and we haven't worked out the mechanics of what that's going to look like.
If you don't give enough of an exclusive reason for DC Universe to grow, it will not grow. And I would imagine that subscribership, I really do wonder, has it stagnated? Has it fallen off? I'd like to know where it is because they're not pumping in what the future is going to be. All we keep hearing is like HBO Max and it's still there. We want them to be there. But like an Aquaman miniseries, you're telling me that's not going to debut on DC Universe? Like
that's so strange. The other thing that people were curious about was Audience Network, what was going to happen there, because it was announced that it was shutting down as a home for original content. So series like Mr. Mercedes and Louder Milk are kind of in limbo, and Riley said that's being sorted out right now. They had some good shows there. We'll see what happens once they get through that process. It's not just DC that they're confused about. It seems like they're just trying to place things in general. But yeah, for Aquaman to not be on a DC, that's not a DC thing. It's like, then what is a DC thing?
It does sort of project that they've kind of lost the faith or the experiment, or they're shifting or something. And again, I really hope this platform doesn't go away, but you can't continue to charge the same thing for it if you're not, bolstering it with lots of new content. And it's just weird to be like, so I have DC Universe and I can't watch your Green Lantern show? Like, if I only have DC Universe and I don't have HBO Max, how dare you? How dare you, sir, not let me watch a Green Lantern show when I've been a patient subscriber,
I know,
giving my money. I withstood all the people making fun of the Green Lantern movie, all my Marvel friends, and this is how you repay me?
Totally.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. Here's what I also will say, though, Adam. I don't know if you heard these rumors today, and again, this is across the pond, but I swear I will loop it back in.
Oh, we're going to England, so this is good.
Lucasfilm reportedly canceled the Obi-Wan series today.
What?
That is,
sorry.
Yeah, that
What?
is something, but it's not been confirmed. But there are rumors that the Obi-Wan
Ryan has just left the
series
booth,
has been
guys.
canceled.
We're flying on our own.
And the only reason I bring that up is to say that you never know, because that series seemed like a sure thing, and who knows if it actually is going to be canceled. It's rumors at the moment, but supposedly that's what's happening. So HBO Max, there might be Aquaman, they might decide, actually, no, that's going over to DC. Actually, no, the Aquaman thing's not going to happen. Actually, it's going to happen in 5 years from now. Like, none of these announcements are set in stone until we see them. So, yeah, I am curious.
Oh, so, and again, just to circle back, I know this is a very circuitous path we're doing here, but Casey Bloys, who is the head of programming at HBO, was just kind of clarifying that it's not like HBO canceled Watchmen. The status is the same as it has been. And I think...
And they tried to tell us that going into it. They tried to say from day one, this is going to be the only season of Watchmen. We just all didn't believe them. Because when something gets views and money, we think that they'll give us more.
Yes, I guess the idea was like contractually, are they holding the actors? Are they releasing the actors and let them do their own thing? So I think actors are probably going to be allowed to continue to do what they do. But again, this is what, speaking of across the pond, this is what they do so well in England. This is what HBO has historically done with their great shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, don't keep it like, I need another season next season. Like, no one did anything with Watchmen for over 20 years, before there was like the movie or certainly like the after comics. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think like between 86 and like 2000 something like that Watchmen wasn't touched. So it's ridiculous to think, man, we got to crank it out again same time next year. Like, it should only happen when it needs to happen.
I agree. When you're moved to do so.
When you're moved to do so. And
I mean, think about the comeback. Did you ever watch that show?
I watched all that show except when it came back. Really,
the comeback was incredible, but it was that was for different reasons. But they came back. It was like 14 years later or something to do another season.
And then it didn't do well at that time.
But this show was amazing still.
Yeah.
So just saying, like, things can come back, pun intended, at any time. Again, for all of you guys in the chat, the Obi-Wan thing is not confirmed, but it is, like I said, a rumor coming from an iffy source.
And if you really want to see Obi-Wan, you can see Ewan McGregor in Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One
Harley Quinn.
Opening soon. So we'll have more word for you on that. I will not be around the next week or so, but you can find me at Adam Gertler, online, all kinds of places. Go to Doghouse. You'll have one of the best burgers, sausages, hot dogs, fried chicken sandwiches in your life. Let me know. Or if you get a Ninja Foodie and you want to know how to use it, let me know. I'm here to help. I love you. Roxy, talk to the people.
I'm everywhere at Roxy Stryer. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube right now. YouTube.com/Roxy Stryer. We're at 19 point something, so we can do this, rock stars. And also, you'll be seeing more of Adam and I together doing all things Schmodown.
Oh, I
really
can't
exciting.
wait. I can't wait to domination. I'm still powder pure, by the way. That's not going to change. Ryan in the booth, thank you so much. You're a wonderful producer.
Sorry for the near heart attack
from
the Obi-Wan series.
Oh, we'll discuss this after the show, Ryan. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time on DC Movie News.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.